So it's 1:36 a.m. and I have this terrible problem right now with insomnia. But I wrote a note on Facebook and I decided I'm going to read it out loud and I'm going to share it with people on YouTube. Like anyone's going to watch, but who knows, maybe someone will watch. And I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. Today I drove my Uncle Raul to the airport so he can go back to Mexico. There wasn't any deep conversation like I would have had with my Uncle Tiberio or Ricardo or even the uncles I grew up with, like my uncle and Nino, godfather, Chava. But it was a good conversation, and I wasn't sure if I was able to communicate something that is key to understanding me. Not for you to understand me, but for me to understand myself, which I do. You see, years ago, I lost 2 cousins to cancer. They were sisters, both so lovely, and it was so sad to see them go. Years before that, I lost friends in high school to various accidents, and one to leukemia just after high school. I heard friends had died recently, friends from high school. I spoke to my ex-husband about this, yes, I was married, and he called me on my BS being that I live each day like it's going to be my last. I do not live life as if it were my last day here. If I really did that, I would not do laundry or go to work. That's very true. But I do appreciate life as if it could be my last day here. But I anticipate and hope that it won't. I want to die, but not yet. To be human is to die. Not till I'm at least 150 years old. That's true. If I can. And I might not be, but that's the number that feels right. Recently, my cousin whom I've had a chance to become closer with, and whom I've had some deep conversations with regarding life and being cows, he knows what I'm talking about, got diagnosed with something severe. And it's not my story, so I'm not going to talk about it. But this is a reminder. It's yet again a reminder that life is precious, that we do not know if we have little or a lot of time. And in the grand scheme of things, a lot of time is still not enough. I'm 30. 3 decades. And the first thing my dad, my stepmom, my spirit mom, which is really my dad's girlfriend, and a handful of other relatives will say to me is, you need to grow up. You need maturity. It doesn't upset me. It makes me chuckle inside, it does. It immediately brings up the scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder, where he sings to taunt the proper folk. He sings, "A little nonsense now and then is relished by the wisest men." I think we all need to grow up. We need to realize that happiness is not simply and only at the top of a corporate ladder. It's not in a husband who brings home the bacon but lacks the ability to make one happy. It's not in a wife that is almost perfect if she only could change that one thing she does that just annoys you. It's not found in going to all of your kids' basketball games because that isn't enough. Happiness isn't found in a big-ass house where you spend all of your free time doing chores because you just can't afford to enjoy it properly. Happiness is not even found in going to church every Sunday, because without truly understanding and internalizing the Word of God, and living it, and sharing it, and feeling love with no anger, jealousy, or selfishness, well, church on Sundays is just not enough. I threw that in because of recent events, some recent conversations. You know, on a tangent, church is like rehab, like AA meetings, to help us kick our bad habits and embrace a sober life. But I regress. Although all the previously mentioned can and are contributing factors to happiness and can provide moments of joy, happiness is in realizing who you are and carrying out with our secret orders God gave us when we were on our way here. Happiness is helping other people. It's loving people and using money and not the other way around. Happiness is not expecting anything in return, no matter what. Happiness isn't focusing on one thing. unless that does make you happy. Then, fine, that's happiness. But that is what I was getting at. Happiness for me is not working for my dad with the idea that I might grow and advance and maybe even take over that company. My happiness isn't fame and fortune. I know I was in a band, but that's not. I don't want to be famous. I don't want a fortune. It'd be nice, but that's not happiness. That's something else. And I lost my place. Give me a second. Okay. Happiness for me isn't a boyfriend or a husband with a prestigious title who went to college and comes from a great background. Happiness for me is more like a buffet table. Life is a buffet table. And I see all these wonderful dishes, except there's no time limit. So I can come back day after day, and the food is always so fresh and delicious. I can have as many chile rellenos as I want or decide to, and maybe I want to have some strawberries instead. The best part is, each time I eat a new dish, I eat it with different people. And they all share the love for that recipe. We talk and laugh and remember, and we part, knowing that we will always share that experience. And when my short life is fading, and it's time for me to go, I can look back at all the things that made me so happy and made so many people happy, because I do not believe I live selfishly any more than anyone else. If I can, I am there, and if I can't, I am not. But when I can, I strive to make others happy. So if I'm not a doctor or a politician or even a celebrity, how can I make an impact? Well, maybe my way is more subtle. I know my rants and writings have helped people in the past. I know I've given some great advice, and I've taken some too. And I know I've entertained and brought joy to the lives of I don't know how many. Perhaps my numbers aren't as great as, let's say, Sting, who plays concerts for thousands of people. But the personal time was much greater than it would have been otherwise. And who knows how far that impact will go. After all, we all cause ripples. I love, therefore I am happy. I am happy, therefore I know and can accept that I am loved. So for me, I want to live life. I want to skydive, learn to surf, open up a few little businesses, make a movie, join a theater group, sing in a band, write a book, go climb Mount Everest, backpack through Europe, and yes, have a couple of kids, and then do it all with them. Happiness for me is living, so I must consider in my happiness. Money does play a role, for it allows me to achieve all these things and contribute to society. But money in itself does not bring me happiness. So we all have to grow up, because we have to let go of what we think is proper and acceptable and do what is right for us, be better, find happiness, and then teach others to do the same. I've had some rough times and some heartache, but all in all, I'm 100% honest when I say I am happy and I will continue to pursue it. So, don't worry, be happy, I guess.